What is up, everybody? Matt Moda here to give you my NFL player prop bangers. We're talking NFL Sunday, Week 9, Sunday, November 3rd. It's crazy that we're already in November, but we are. I'm going to have three players that we are backing for this Sunday slate, and we're actually climbing ladders on all three of them. So it's going to end up being like 5 units risk total backing three players who I think have a chance to have blow up performances on Sunday. That's what we're doing. Before we can get into that, of course, we just got to do a recap. Week 8 specifically, last week, was not the best week that I've had. It ended up being salvaged because we had a decent Thursday night football and a really good Monday night football, but Sunday specifically was rough. So we ended up down a little bit less than a unit on week 8 as a whole. But again, Monday Night Football specifically, 2-0. That was nice. Was able to get some money back there. And then on the entire season, we're having a phenomenal year so far with this NFL season, up over 23 units on the year, about 15% ROI is what we're up on the year. Very, very good year that we are having so far. Let's hope that we can keep it up on Sunday. Again, I have 3 players that we're backing. Let's get right into it. Play number 1, our first ladder play of the Sunday slate. AJ Brown. I'm taking him 80 plus receiving yards. I'm taking him 100 plus receiving yards. I put a full unit on him to get to 80 plus. That's best offered at Hard Rock at plus 105 odds. If you don't use Hard Rock, you can get it at Fliff at plus 100. If you don't use Hard Rock and Fliff, then the next best offered price would be DraftKings at minus 105. Hopefully, people are in enough states where they can get Fliff or Hard Rock. But that's how I played the 80 plus, and then the 100 plus is best offered at bet 365. I put a half unit on that at plus 215 odds. I ended up skipping the 90 receiving yards ladder because it just didn't really make sense from an odds perspective. The value just wasn't quite there. So I'm just doing the 80 and the 100 plus. Now, in terms of the play itself, now I'll admit I went back and forth on whether I wanted to take this play for AJ Brown. I was worried that this was going to be a blowout in the Eagles' favor, a game in which they only throw the ball 14 times, which is what happened 2 weeks ago against the Giants. This Jaguars team stinks. They traded away their left tackle. They could be missing their top 3 receivers. Christian Kirk is already confirmed out. He's done for the year. Brian Thomas Jr. and Gabe Davis are both currently banged up. We run the risk of a blowout potential, for sure. If this game, I even was confident that they were going to keep it close, I would take AJ Brown up to 125 plus because the matchup for him is just so good. He gets consistently targeted in this Eagles offense. I mean, Jalen Hurts just loves AJ Brown. That's why I decided to make it an official play. Again, the 80 plus for a unit, 100 plus as a ladder play. He's just been so good this year. Now, he's only played 4 games because he played week 1, then he pulled his hammy, he missed the next 3 games. When he's played football, he's been incredibly consistent. 80 plus yards in every single game that he's played this year. Again, it's only been 4 games, but in those 4 games, 116, 89, 84, over 100 yards twice, and then the last 2, 89 and 84 receiving yards. And last week, it's funny, 84 receiving yards is a quiet week for AJ Brown. All the talk went to Devontae Smith, who had the big game, had the long touchdown bomb. Meanwhile, AJ Brown doesn't score a touchdown, doesn't have a 40-yard catch. It's the only game this season in which he did not have a 40-yard catch. So it kind of goes under the radar, but he still had 84 yards, which is a really good week overall for most receivers. And if you, if you look at receivers, so on the year, AJ Brown has the second most receiving yards per game. Literally the second most receiving yards per game. Only Nico Collins is ahead of him. But if you look at all receivers that have at least 15 targets on the year, so we're filtering out some guys that have like 1 target and it happened to be like a 40-yard bomb. All those outlier guys were taken out. Just looking at guys that have at least 15 targets. AJ Brown is number 1 in terms of yards per route run and number 1 in yards per target as well. The beauty of AJ Brown is his ability to have explosive plays. He's just, like I said, he's had a 40-yard catch in 3 of the 4 games. Last week, his longest reception was only 29 yards, which is still pretty good. And even if he has a bunch of explosive plays, he still gets consistently targeted as well. It's a great combination of the chance to blow up while also getting consistent targets. 4th highest target rate in the NFL, 9th highest targets per route run, 3rd highest first read target rate. All that stuff, just great production for AJ Brown. As I mentioned, it's also a phenomenal matchup for AJ Brown as well. He's going up against just a horrific horrific Jaguars passing defense. According to DVOA, the Jags have the worst passing defense in the entire NFL, and they're allowing the third most passing yards. The two teams above them that are allowing more passing yards are the Ravens and the Vikings. Those are two good football teams. So the Jaguars stink. They're always losing, and they're still giving up a ton of passing yards per game. And this is a great matchup, even digging deeper into the numbers. A.J. Brown is phenomenal against man coverage. Just annihilates man coverage. The Jags run man at the second highest rate in the league. Of all the receivers in the NFL that have run at least 10 routes against man coverage. So again, we're just filtering out outliers. A.J. Brown literally has the highest yards per route run in the entire NFL against man coverage. Better than every single receiver in the NFL. All we need is the Jaguars to keep this even remotely close, and A.J. Brown should have a really good game. 100 plus to climb the full ladder. Let's hope it happens. That's play/ladder number 1. Number 2 is a Joe Flacco passing yards ladder. I will admit, a player that I never thought that I would be laddering in the year 2024, but that's what's going on. We're taking him 250 plus for a full unit. That's at plus 145 odds at bet 365. We're going half unit on 275 plus passing yards, plus 240 odds at Caesars. And then we're going 300 plus passing yards, plus 475 odds at bet 365. And all of these numbers are on the screen. So obviously, I'm telling you for those listeners that are listening and not watching, but all the numbers in terms of how I'm betting it, it's going to be on the screen for all these guys. So for Joe Flacco, finally, the Colts made the right decision to make him their starting quarterback because he's way better than Anthony Richardson. And now that he's starting, now we can dive in on his passing prop. And we can dive in on some receiving props for the Colts as well. Like, as of the time of this recording, they don't have any receiving props out yet for the Colts, but my play would be Josh Downs. I'm heavily going to look at his receiving yards as soon as we get odds. But I'm just more confident in general that Flacco throws for a bunch of yards, which is why I just wanted to take him as opposed to taking any receiver. And I get it that, this isn't perfect. It goes back to last year when he played for a different team. It goes back to years ago when he played for the freaking Jets. But really what it comes down to is whenever Joe Flacco plays football, he consistently throws for a bunch of yards. Now, he's only made 2 starts this year specifically. He only hit the over in 1 of those 2 starts, but he crushed the over against the Jags. So talking about how bad their pass defense is, crushed the over with 359 passing yards. Great matchup against the Jags. The game he did not go over was against the Titans, which was not a good matchup, not a game in which we would have targeted Joe Flacco. You look at last year, he made 6 starts as a member of the Browns. He passed for at least 250 yards in all 6 of those games, so he would have climbed the first leg of the ladder, and he got to 300 plus passing yards in 5 of those 6 starts. So if you just look at the last 2 years as a whole, Joe Flacco's made 8 starts. He's thrown at least 250 yards in 7 of those 8 starts, and he's gotten to at 300 passing yards in 6 of those 8 starts, climbing the full ladder that we are taking him. It might seem high because Joe Flacco is like 90 years old, but the thing is, when he plays football, he just throws for a bunch of yards. That's just what he does. And the Vikings defense, as good as they are, this is a great matchup against the Vikings passing defense. They allow a ton of passing yards. You cannot run on them, but you can pass on them. Currently, the Vikings are allowing the 4th fewest rushing yards per game on the 6th lowest adjusted yards per carry before contact. Very good run defense. In terms of passing, they're allowing the 2nd most passing yards per game overall. And if you just take out an outlier week 1, from week 2 till now, they're allowing over 300 passing yards per game. That's on average. So on average, the Vikings are allowing quarterbacks to pass for the full ladder that we are betting on Joe Flacco, who consistently throws for 300 passing yards. It's just a beautiful matchup, and it's on prime time. Nothing like sweating out old man Joe Flacco, primetime Sunday Night Football. I wouldn't be shocked if he got to 350 yards. Maybe I'll end up doing that depending on how our day goes. Like if we sweep the first 2 ladders and we're sitting pretty, I might take him all the way up to 350. But as of right now, we're just going 300 plus, along with 250 and 275 as well. That's play/ladder number 2. Last up, third and final pick of the video, third and final ladder of the video, Devon Anan receptions ladder, over 4.5 for plus 130 odds for a unit. That's at BetMGM. We're doing 6 plus 260 odds at Bet365. That's a half unit. we're doing 7 plus 550 odds. That's a quarter unit. Honestly, the 4.5 number, if you don't want to do these ladders, take the 4.5 number at plus money. That's a crazy price on Devon Anan to get to 5 receptions. And 6 at plus 260 is even crazier, but that price on 4.5 is just wild. So Tua has started 3 games this year. In those 3 games, Devon Anan, 7, 6 receptions. And you just cannot look at anything of this Dolphins offense. I guess I should say, you can't look at the games in which Tua did not start and make any sweeping conclusions about this Dolphins offense, because it's night and day. I might as well have been the starting quarterback while Tua was out. When Tua plays, it's just insane the target volume that Devon Anan gets. It's been 3 games. In those 3 games, target rate of 18.4%, which that's not phenomenal. It's second on the Dolphins. Only Tyreek Hill has a higher target rate than Devon Anan. But his targets per route run is 0.39, which I'll get into why that's such a high number. Because he's catching these passes out of the backfield, he's got an insane catch rate, 95.2% catch rate. Now, if we just extrapolate these numbers out to the entire season, his targets per route run would be better than every single receiver in the NFL except for Malik Nabers. And Malik Nabers is just having a very historic target rate and targets per route run. He would be the only receiver that has a higher target per route run number than Devon Anan. Again, he's just getting insane receiving work, and it's been in every single game that Tua's started. It's like Tua start equal yes, Devon Anan receiving props blow up. And this matchup against the Bills, plus matchup for running back receiving props in general. On the entire season, the Bills have allowed both the most receiving yards to running backs, the most receptions to running backs, and the most targets as well. So it's clear that teams are heading into games against the Bills knowing, like, part of their game plan is targeting the running back in the receiving game. We saw this with Justice Hill when the Ravens smoked the Bills. We saw this with Devon Anan, who played the Bills in week 2, got 7 receptions, climbed the full ladder. I think that's going to happen once again tonight. The Bills have consistently done a good job shutting down Tyreek Hill. If I'm the Bills, Devon Anan got 7 receptions, and the Bills annihilated the Dolphins in that game even before Tua got hurt. So if I'm the Bills, why would I play anything different? And Tua just loves taking the check down to Devon Anan, who can do stuff with it. He's not a bad receiver, obviously, by any means. He's electric when he gets the ball in his hands, so it's good offense for the Dolphins. Either way, 7 receptions last time he played the Bills with Tua. I'm hoping that he climbs the full ladder once again tonight, getting us to 7. Very confident that he at least gets us to 5, but let's just keep climbing, get us to 7. And that's all we got. 3 ladder climbs for you guys to lock in for this NFL Sunday. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already. And then the last thing that I'll mention, I mention it at the end of every video, is that I do have a Dub Club where I send all my plays out for $5 a month. Get sent directly to your phone via text, email, or Telegram. If you're unfamiliar, Dub Club is just a service you can sign up for to have plays text or sent to you from people like me. The way it works is, as soon as I decide what a play is, the very, very first thing I do is send it out to Dub Club. And as long as I remember, I include a screenshot of my actual bet slip so I can kind of show you that these are the best odds available and these are the odds that I am betting. So if you don't want to watch the YouTube videos, if you don't always have time to watch the YouTube videos, or by the time when you do watch them, the odds are different, that is why I have the Dub Club. It gets you everything that I'm playing across the NFL and the NBA. So everything that I'm playing gets sent to the Dub Club. If you're interested, check that out. Link is in the description, as well as the pinned comment. If you're not interested in that, no problem. You can still get everything for free on YouTube and on Twitter, but that is all we have. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.